All right. Hello, everyone. We're live for Tint Wisdom number, I think, 74. Blake Chase, thanks for joining today.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
So, Blake is currently driving a customer's car back to his shop. So, in a few minutes, we'll be able to get to see the shop. But, Blake, what I wanted to do to get people kind of familiar with who you are and a little more about your shop, I'm going to actually pull up your Instagram page in the background. I feel like
Sure.
that's probably a good place to start. And the name of the place you work at or partially own, or I don't know the deal, is it Sekrit Studios?
Yeah, Sekrit Studios. It's North Hollywood. We are a full car customization shop and agency. Some marketing for some of our clients. We do a lot of custom builds for some big brands, and of course, we do wraps, tints, and all in and out stuff frequently.
So, what kind of marketing do you do for, like, what kind of clients are you doing marketing? Like, is this people that are kind of using their cars in like influencer like business roles, or like what? Like, you basically work at, just to
So,
summarize it, you work at a dream shop with some of the most badass cars I've ever seen. So the question is, what's going on over there? How's that happening?
so there's actually it's kind of like a three-prong approach at Sekrit Studios. The first prong, and probably the most,
So so
is
Blake,
the agent.
it seems like our connection's not that good, but I know you're on the way to the shop, so the connection will improve. But at the moment, it's kind of
Yeah.
like cutting out your audio. So
Oh, sorry.
what we could do is, you want to disconnect and call when you get to the shop?
Yeah. Give me. I'm really close. Give me about 7 minutes, and I'll be back on.
Okay. Yeah, just give me a ring back, and we're gonna move on to something else. If you're watching, stay with us. But yeah, just let's do it when you get there. That way the audio will be good.
Okay, sounds good. I'll talk to you in about seven
All
minutes.
right, talk to you then.
See you.
All right, so let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna get going in a little bit different way, and then we'll get back with Blake once he gets to the shop and he has Wi-Fi and we kind of hear him better. As I was pointing out on the Instagram page, like, this is their Instagram page. It's called Sekrit Studios, and like, this is a project that they're doing currently for Brendan Schaub, the comedian, probably known from the Joe Rogan podcast. And like, they do wraps, they do tinting, but they also just got into custom exhausts, and you can see the exhaust that they just built for this Porsche, and it's absolutely insane. So I'm gonna let you hear that. So the GT2 RS. So like, one of the things I'm interested in talking to Blake about today is how that shop is transitioning from being a wrap shop. I mean, Blake wraps cars, like how it's transitioning from being a wrap shop. They also offer window film and full car customization, and not only customization, but you're talking about an exhaust on a GT2 RS Porsche for a celebrity. So like, if you look through that Instagram page and we scroll down, you'll see some of the vehicles that they wrap, like this one. This is for an Instagram influencer, or YouTuber rather, Mark Donner, and they've wrapped his vehicle a few times. They've done work with David Dobrik many times, and you can just see the type of cars that are going in and out of there, and they're not just like Rolls Royce and McLarens. You're talking about like this crazy build, and I think it's cool that he's able to be wrapping cars, be installing window film, and having these types of cars in and out of his shop and those types of clients. So I'm interested in digging deeper with him on how he does that. And then also what we're going to do in the meantime while he makes his way back to the shop. I actually had a post that I wanted to pull up. Here it is. And I wanted to discuss this post today as well. I was going to do it after Blake, but why don't we just do it before? And I'm just going to get myself out of the way, and then I'll check the comments, and then we'll dive into this post. And this post has been getting a crazy amount of traction. It's from the Window Film Revolution group, and it has over 113 comments, and it was posted yesterday. So I think it's definitely worth jumping into. And let me just pull up those comments real quick. It feels a little old school on this live stream, jumping around. But Brian said he tinted the Polestar. Which Polestar? What are we? I'm sorry, I'm a little jumping around today. Maybe there was a Polestar that was that the type of car that I pointed out that I said was a creative build, because I wasn't sure if that was a Nissan or what. But all right, so let's jump into this thread and what this thread's all about. So it was by John. He said, okay, on a real note, how are you guys dealing with the amount of work and nobody to hire or time to train? At this point, I'm so overwhelmed that I'm ready to shut down a business of over 22 years. People saying not having work is more stressful than having too much work. I disagree. Help or ideas on how to handle this would be great. But on the other hand, this is proof that quality over quantity gets you more quality than you can handle. So this is you see posts all day long from people saying like, how do I get more work? But like, this is kind of something that I talk about here and there, because I feel like I lived it, where you become so busy and you become so worn down from being busy and doing so many customers, and it's nonstop and it's potentially 7 days a week, that yeah, it sucks if you have no customers, but if you have no customers, you're probably getting a lot of sleep. And you probably have some time on your hands. But like, there's a difference between, 22 years in this business and feeling overwhelmed enough to consider closing down his shop because of being overwhelmed. This is what can happen to shops, and does happen to shops, when you're not, and I'm not speaking to John specifically, because I don't know John, and I can only go off of kind of what my interpretation of his post. But I think this is what happens when you don't necessarily have systems in place to handle the growth that's coming. So yes, you can do fine writing things on paper, and you can do fine working off referrals and being the only person there, maybe it being you and one other person. You can do fine. But if you're fortunate enough to be extremely successful like John is, sometimes some of those things, they work on a small volume. They work now, but are they going to work a year from now? How's it going to look 2 years from now? How's it look if your business goes 5x? And what happens is, your business grows, you have all these responsibilities, your time is taken up, you lose the time that you might have to dedicate to figuring out solutions to problems like this. And you lose the mental capacity, because you're tired and worn down, to deal with problems like this. And then you find yourself overwhelmed, and you start to have new problems that come from other problems. So a small problem, like maybe scheduling and writing things down in a notebook, like that definitely works. But then if John's overwhelmed and John goes to hire somebody, now is that system going to work so well? Does that create then new problems that come based off of that one inefficiency? And then does that cause maybe a person to quit, or them to do less work, or who knows what it causes? But the point is, this is an example of what can happen when you're not organized enough from the get-go. So I want to just go through some of the comments in here and, answer any questions that anybody has regarding that. But, this is my waiting list on top. And you know what? Let me point out one more thing. This is a couple weeks out of the coronavirus. And this is in the middle of nationwide and really worldwide, like, protests and riots. And you have somebody with a small business coming on here saying, I have so much work that I'm thinking about closing my business, which, if I have to guess, he's speaking out of frustration, he's speaking out of exhaustion, but the same thing that kept him in the business for the first 22 years, the passion for the business and the industry and the love for what he does, probably keep him past this point of frustration. But I just feel like, the feeling of frustration. And I want to get through some of these comments. And you can see that it's not just John. It's not him. I feel you. It's fucking ridiculous. No one wants to work or knows how to. I'm in the same boat, and customers are getting pissy because I can't fit them in. So sometimes you'll hear a tinter say like, oh, I'm weeks out. It's no problem. Okay, well, that's good for you that your work is lined up for weeks. But is that providing the best service for a customer who just got their car and want to get it tinted right away? I'm just saying, is that that being booked out has an effect on the service you're providing. Also, does that put you potentially in a scenario where you book somebody today and they don't show up because their appointment was 2 or 3 weeks later and they either got it done already or they forgot? So, being booked out is like a double-edged sword. It feels good, but it's not actually a good thing. If you wanted to get a Starbucks coffee and you really like Starbucks coffee and you went to Starbucks and there was a line of 300 people out the door, you as a customer wouldn't be celebrating for Starbucks and saying, well, I'll come back in a month from now. I'm so happy for you. You would be mad at Starbucks why they're not able to service their customers faster. So I know it's not Starbucks, it's window tint, but you understand that from a customer's perspective, fast service is actually part of it. So we're going to do some more jumping around. I'm going to jump back into the Blake Chase Ninja Rap interview, and then we can jump back to this at the end because Blake's at the shop. So I'm going to ring him up real quick, and we'll get him in here.
Hey.
Hey, just waiting on the video to load, and there you are.
There it is.
All right, so let's get back.
Wi-Fi.
Please get your Wi-Fi on. So for those who maybe joined a little late, this is Blake Chase. He is a rapper, the kind that puts vinyl on cars. And
I'm also a rapper, lyrical as well.
I'm going to hold you to that. So this is the shop you are at. And basically my question to you was, you obviously work for a badass shop. You mentioned you do a lot of different services in addition to window film and wraps. So can you tell me a little more about this car person's dream?
Yeah, sure. So as I was saying earlier, we have a three-prong approach where we're all car junkies. We love cars. We love what they do, how they make you feel, the culture, the lifestyle, all that. So we wanted to hit it from all aspects. So the first prong would be the marketing approach. So what we handle for a lot of our clients is we produce merchandise, we do design, we handle pretty much anything that can bring the brand more presence, more brand awareness. And we do that for a couple clients of ours. One of our major clients is Toyo Tires. Here, if I flip my camera around somehow. Don't know how to do that. But here we have some of our merch. We have our masks, hoodies, hats, T-shirts. We handle all that for Toyo. And we do it for AEM. We do it or we're about to do it for AEM. We do it for Need for Speed, Speed Hunters, some of our clients. And that's just one prong of Sekrit Studios. The second prong is going to be our full builds. That's where the fun really comes in, when we get a project that is just massive and we're pretty much building cars from scratch. So the last one we completed was the Need for Speed cover car. It came to us from Sweden. It was a Polestar, and they had this car on the cover of the video game, and they wanted to build it in real life. So what we did was we pretty much built it from scratch within 30 days.
It's on your Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you check out Sekrit Studios, you can see the full build process. You can see pictures of the final product, and just kind of, you could really see the story go as you could scroll through our timeline.
What color is the Polestar? So I know which one it is, because I guess I don't know what Polestars are.
So Polestars, it's owned by Volvo.
Okay.
So it's actually the yellow car you'll see in some pictures, and then
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pull that up on the screen now. I was thinking that was a Mercedes GTR at first glance, with just like.
That's what a lot of people say. They say, is that an AMG GT or
AMG,
a GTR?
Yeah.
I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
It's actually a Polestar. They haven't released the Polestar one yet, but so that was a concept car. It was actually VIN number 5. So we actually had to keep it under wraps for a while, but then we showed the whole build process and how we brought it from a completely stock car to it's as wide as a Raptor. That's just so you can have it in your mind how much presence this thing has.
Wow.
So we extended it by almost 8 inches, I think, on both sides. So yeah, that was a very big build. And then we have a couple other cars that we're building right now. for some of our marketers, but we got to kind of keep it on the down low a little bit, you know.
So, how does one build such connections? Is that a momentum game, like little by little from reputation, or how does that?
So I got to leave all that to my partner, and he's like, his name's Daniel. He goes by Kilogram on Instagram. I don't know if
Yep.
many of you've heard of him. So he has been in the game forever, and he just he's built all these connections, and he has this vision that I align with, and that's why we became so close. And we're going through this endeavor with Sekrit Studios, but he's just been around for so long. He's worked for some major brands.
It feels
And
like a Jesse James of wraps and car
pretty
builds, or
much,
like that
yeah,
sort
car
of
build. Yeah,
like.
I don't know if you want to pull up maybe one of his cars. It's the Subaru or Scion, I think, FRS. If you just FRS, it should pop up. But that car really, put him on the map. It had everything before anything was built on that car, and a lot of it was custom that he had in his head that he just, made, and because no one else made it. So that wing, he had been dreaming about that wing, and he just made it happen. And those are the kinds of people that I like to align myself with, that really brings dreams into reality. And you can't ask for more with somebody like that.
No, it sounds like an absolute dream. Like it sounds like somebody who really knows what they're doing, and to be a wrap shop that's not like, you're a car customization shop. Like I'm calling you a wrap shop, but like to do wraps, to get to do that sort of work, to tint windows, to customize cars in other ways, and for them to be of such high caliber. And you're not like I wanted to ask you, like, is there like Instagram super badass, like all your Instagram accounts, the Kilogram, the Sekrit Studios, it's like artwork. And is there like behind the scenes, like turn and burn, like Camrys getting wraps that like you just don't put in there? Or is this like only exclusive cars? Like what's going on?
So that's where I wanted to tell you about the third prong, which
Okay.
is the in and out customers, which is the wraps, the tints, the powder calipers, all that little stuff. We are turning out a lot of cars. Like we just finished, I think just this week, 4 full wraps and 2 blackouts. And that's a slow week for us. So,
Okay. So there is other like things that are going behind the scenes, because like somebody from the outside's looking at your highlight reel, and like they're trying to imagine like how is this possible, you know what I mean? And like still it's very impressive, but there's also other work that goes into, because I'd imagine you're getting everybody and anybody wanting to get work done there, right? Like if they know about it.
Yeah, so we don't, the only marketing that we do for ourselves is going to be through our Instagram. We don't pay for ads, we don't do any of that. It's all word of mouth. Something that we did to keep us busy, and to keep us always having work for our guys here, is approaching dealerships. That's a really big thing that has really kept us going, and pays the bills. They're constant, steady work, and it's actually super easy to engage with these people. All you got to do is just walk into a dealership, bring a car that maybe you've worked on, show them what you do, tell them what you have to offer them, because that's what everybody wants to hear. They want to know how you can benefit them. So you talk to them about that, you give them a sweet deal, and they're going to be your best seller as long as you take care of them, you stick by your word, and they will really show you love by bringing you those customers. And
So when you talk about dealership work, most of the people watching this are in the window film industry, and like dealership work to a point like has like a bad rap, because it's typically like people feel like dealers they don't care about quality, they don't care about the material, they don't care about how you do the edges with window film. They're just going to look for the lowest price, and then maybe even get somebody in house to cut you out. So that's kind of a vibe. Now you're talking about offering vinyl wraps and blackouts and other types of services to dealerships. Is that so that they can put them on their showroom as displays? Is it to offer to new purchasers of vehicles, or both? Or
so there's both aspects. Sometimes they'll sell a car that the customer actually didn't want, but they offer our services to get them to buy the car that they do want. So let's say a customer comes in and they have a white car, but they really wanted that gray. The salesperson can, and you really got to get in with these sales guys, because that's the key. Because the management, they're not talking to the customers, they're not grinding the customers and stuff like that. It's really the salespeople that are going to do the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll sell the customer based on your services, and then as long as with the dealerships that I'm working with, it actually is all about quality, and they would actually pay the higher price for that quality, because we're dealing with Hornburg Range Rover, Beverly Hills Mercedes-Benz, and BMW. You really want to go for those high-end customers, because they are the ones that care for quality.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. So what do you think, like, if you had to guess, or from what you're seeing, like, or what you've seen, your experience in the rap world, what would you tell somebody who says, I have a hard time finding help? Seems like nobody wants to work. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of jobs coming my way, but like, how do I find good help?
See, that's a problem for all of us. It's really hard for me to find good help as well. But what I found is training goes a long way. I know it's so hard, and it sucks. It really does to have to all these customers' cars here, and you have to take the time to show somebody what to do. But once you find that person that aligns with your brand, sees the vision, and is just really passionate about what they do or what they want to do, then you've found yourself a person. Because everybody wants to touch cars all day. Everybody, especially Ferraris and McLarens and stuff. So it's once you find that person and you start working with them and you're showing them how to do it, you can tell when someone's going to be a good tinter, a good rapper. So put your work in. Put your work into helping them, and then it'll come back tenfold, because they'll be loyal to you, and they will look up to you as not just a boss, but hopefully a friend that shows them what to do and guides them. And out of 20 people that I've trained, 2 of them have really stuck by, but those 2 guys have really put in work, and I could say that they're just as good at rapping, just as good at customizing cars as I am now.
Wow. And like that, I mean, that's incredible, because now there's 3 of you, versus if you just didn't put in that work and go through another, 18 or 20 that you trained, you'd have 0, you'd have 1 of you instead of 3 of you. So like,
yeah,
it's a numbers game. And I would say, like, something you have to persist at. Yeah.
Yeah. And you could tell by the first couple of days if they're into it or not. And the second you see they're not into it, choose your time wisely and how you want to pursue it, and make sure that it's actually going to be.
Makes sense. So do you think, can you take us for a tour of the shop?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Just turn your phone sideways. I'll full screen you.
Yeah, I do have to cut off the Wi-Fi, because I don't have Wi-Fi in the shop side.
We'll do what we can.
So here we go. How's that look?
Perfect. Nice and wide.
Here we go. We have the shop. This is the office, my desk, Daniel's desk. And then we got our shop doggy down here. He hangs out in the office. You might remember Tux.
Uh-huh.
And here we got our lounge, and some guys drifting, playing some Forza. As you can see, it's a passion,
Yeah.
It's all about cars. And here you go into our lot, where, how's the connection? Is it good?
Yeah, we're still good.
Okay. So we got, a lot of projects going on here, and some personal stuff. But here we have our propane truck, just in case we run out of propane. Everybody needs propane.
What are you doing to it?
It's kind of top secret.
Okay. It's a project, though.
Yeah. You could see how big that is, and just imagine what you could do with that.
Okay.
And then here we have our 1965 C10. This is actually one of Daniel's personal cars. We are doing a full build on this. It's going to be insane. We have a Roadster shop chassis coming. That's it's built for this car. It's just a direct replacement. And then we have a top secret motor going inside it. All I could tell you is it's Japanese.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then here we have one of my cars. It's a 2017 BMW M235, pushing about 450 horsepower. Very dirty. I haven't driven it in a while. And then here's a new toy that we just got off of Amazon. It's one of those Amazon bikes, you know. Here we have a customer's C63 2019. We are doing a full color change, window tints, chrome delete, new wheels, calipers, the full 9 on this one without changing any of the body. It's a pretty badass car. And then here we have Daniel's 240. It is a missile. This thing is pretty big in the car world. It's gotten a lot of press and just how clean this build is. It's got a full Rocket Bunny kit. You can see there's not much to the interior. You got your hydraulic e-brake and, you know, your shifter, but the roll cage. It's kind of crazy.
So sick.
And then going into the shop, we have, this is our shop GT3 RS Porsche. This is wrapped in 3M satin black. We've done a full ceramic coat on top of the satin black to just really protect it from water spots, because this color loves water spots. But yeah, that's that thing. Just we take it to car shows. We take it on, you know, rallies and stuff like that. This is just so we can show our work. And then here we have a customer's Audi R8 that we're doing a color change to gloss white. Started as a black car, and we're almost finished wrapping it. This is actually our wrap room and tint room. So this is where all the magic happens. Nice and clean. Clean floors makes a huge difference in wrapping, tinting, everything. It just, when they're glossy like this, it's so easy to sweep up, mop up, and then no dust. You know, we blow it out once a week, make sure there's no dust on the walls and stuff like that. It really helps with getting clean tints and wraps. So, and then back here is where we do all of our merchandise and product development. It goes all the way in the back. It's kind of boring over there, but this can't really show you that. This is our shop truck. It's a GMC 3500 Sierra Denali. It's a pretty beastie. And we got a customer's Range Rover. We're just doing complete wrap. A customer's truck. We're doing full detail, window tints, powder coat the wheels. And then we'll head over to the other side of the shop. So this we actually just acquired. We've got some guys working in here. So we just acquired this side of the shop. And we turn the pause the music real quick. So we're doing a full color change on this Porsche GT3 RS. It's going from gloss white to a Nazatech lava orange. This material is crazy. Look how glossy it is.
Are you going to ceramic coat it?
Yeah, we're going to ceramic coat it as well, but you could just really see the glossiness and reflection on this material. It's changing the game, really. It's a hard material to work with. That's why we charge a bit more. But yeah, it is a sick material. Here you can see a little bit more of the car. Yeah, so we got to paint all the walls and stuff in here and really get it going. We have some of our landlord's cars in here, but you could see some of the construction that we're doing.
How big is this shop in total now, square foot wise?
With the parking lots, I think 10,000, because we have this whole huge lot out here as well. So this is also going to be part of the shop. Here's going to be our customer lounge. We have 3 shipping containers welded together, and we're just doing like hardwood floors, painting it all black. And we're doing like roll-up garage doors. It's going to be pretty badass. But yeah, that's our space.
Badass, man.
Yep. This we're doing a full wrap on as well.
Is that a Bentley?
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, here, you're living a car guy's dream, I feel like. If you like working on cars, like to be in that environment, and it sounds like you found a really good person to work with or team to work with.
Yeah, it's a really good gig over here, and all I could say is, if you're passionate about cars and you want to do that with your life, then pursue it and really put all your effort into it, and study, call people, ask questions. Like, I can't stress that enough. Ask as many questions as possible. I've got my assistant Connor. He every day he asks me a million questions, and I love it, because not only is he learning from the answers, but some things I don't know, and I have to ask somebody else for that help, and I'm learning with him on a daily basis. And yeah, that's if you truly love the car community, you'll want to help other people. I know there's a lot of toxicness going on in the car community with YouTubers and drama and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
you just kind of got to forget about it, and just know that we're all doing this because we love it, and we love cars, and we love going fast, and we love seeing pretty colors and cool things, and it's just like, just forget about all that drama and just really remember why you're doing this. So can't stress that enough.
Man, well put. And like, thanks for sharing, like, to share what this shop looks like and what your business looks like. It's unconventional. I don't think it's like, if people think of wrap shops, I don't think they think of, no, like legitimate huge following on Instagram, like such a big shop, such a studio feel, such a high end, like in Hollywood out of all places, or North Hollywood.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's valuable, and like, I appreciate you sharing that vision and what that exists, because it's hard not to say that what you're doing, like, you're a perfect example of, the wrap shops of the future, and what car shops look like in the future. It's not what it was. This is where I think where it's going for the
Well, thank you.
very successful.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys ever need some inspiration, feel free to shoot me a DM. You can send us an email. You can send it to Blake@sekritstudios.com if you have any questions. Yeah, I'm happy to help. There's a lot of places that I can point you if you're looking to start your own thing, or if you just want to know how we did something, or why we did something. Just shoot me an email, DM, whatever. We always respond pretty quickly.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again for doing this. I really appreciate it. I'll let you go.
No problem. Back to rapping.
Back to rapping. Oh, were you going to do some lyrical rapping?
Oh, no. I was kidding about that.
Got it. No worries. Just checking. All right, man. Take care. Thanks again.
See you, Eric. I'll see you guys later.
Bye. All righty. So now there's two of me, and now there's one of me. Okay. So that was Blake with Sekrit Studios. I'll pull it up on the screen again. It's one of those companies that's so freaking cool that they can spell their name like misspelled and still have 20,000 followers and get 2,000 likes on a picture, 1,200 likes on a bunch of pictures that they posted today. I mean, this is the real deal. 9,000 views over here. Like, this isn't just a company with some followers. This is a company that's like really doing it, and really building an audience, and really doing it differently, as you heard Blake explain. So check them out if you wish. And I'm going to jump right back into that post, and we'll pick up where we left off. Basically, for those who maybe didn't start at the beginning of this live stream, jumped in the middle somewhere, this was a post on the Window Film Revolution group on Facebook. And basically, it's what people encounter in this industry is the feeling of being overwhelmed. You're offering a great service, you're doing a great job with your customers, and at some point the demand can overwhelm the supply, especially if that supply is just you and you're a one-man shop or one lady shop, or even if you have a couple people that work with you. If your service is good enough, if your marketing is good enough, if you're building a great business, you can expect the day where the demand outgrows your supply, because your supply is basically you. It's a big part of it is the service. So I just, I wanted to go through some of these comments, kind of point out maybe some tips that people have and put in here. And I implore you, if you have any ideas or things that help you, go in here, because, again, this is a post that got over 100 comments in less than a day. And you're talking about somebody out of probably frustration saying, hey, business for over 22 years, we're so busy, we're thinking about closing. Think about that. Think about how tired you must be or overwhelmed you must be to have that feeling. And I'm certain a lot of people out there can relate to it. So, this comment says, because I can't pronounce the name, I decided not to get any more phone calls until the end of summer. Online booking or in-store booking only. Right now, I'm so stressed that I feel like I would get a heart attack. Going with online booking and starting to limit, how you handle your customers, that's definitely one option. Though know that, what you're faced with here is, like I said a few minutes ago, your demand has grown. You have this huge demand over here, and then your supply, there's a bottleneck in between you and the demand because you're not able to meet that demand in a comfortable way, in a quick time turnaround, and so on. So, one of the options is try to chop up that demand. So by limiting the ways that you can schedule, you're going to chop up that demand. You're going to take out a portion that do not want to schedule that way, or maybe just will not. And you're going to be left with the ones that are willing to oblige. And then again, now that's going to free you up a little bit and reduce that demand so that you feel a little better. Now, keep in mind, again, we're chopping up your demand. I feel like, what you want to do is you want to kind of look at where is the bottleneck? What is the issue here? And how can we free up the bottleneck, not reduce the demand? So it's not a bad way to go. It's one option. I always say, there's no right way to do things. There's a lot of ways that will work. You want to pick something that's going to fit your vision, your lifestyle, your business, because there's a lot of different ways to cook a steak and it still comes out delicious. So there's a lot of ways to run a business successful that are going to be very different from one or another. There's not a right way and a wrong way, but there are ways that are best practices that have proven to work, that make sense, and so on. So that's basically what we're talking here. There's never really, I would say, a right and a wrong way per se. They're just going to give you different results. Tahir said, same boat with my wrap business. Then you have to track if I hired sales as a liability or an asset once they get their feet wet in your business. If they don't help your income generation, then we're back at square one. Well, that's a point. You have to make sure that they become a asset for you, not a liability. Look, you bring somebody on, they're going to do a job for you. Either they're going to take care of wrapping cars or tinting cars, or they're going to help you with phone calls, or they're going to help talk to the customers in there. They're going to do something for you. So yes, you want to make sure they're an asset for you, but that should come naturally with, you figuring out where they fit in your business. And then when you bring them in there, at first, you're going to have more work on your hands because you have to train somebody else. You have to do payroll for that person. You have to be in contact with them. And you had to hire them. You had to interview. At first, it's more work. But then, like Blake said earlier on this Tint Wizdom, even if it takes hiring 20 people to find two, at the end of the day, he ended up with 2 people out of training 20. He ended up with 2 that now are just as good as him, he says. So you can imagine he just went from being a 1-man to producing 2 additional men. So now he's a 3-man, at hand. And yeah, it's work up front, but at the end of the day now, he has something to show for it and he has that extra help. So, if you get stuck at, you hire somebody, you train, it frustrates you. You hire them, train, frustrates you. You've got to improve that. You've got to reflect on maybe you can hire better people. Maybe you can do a better job training. See where you're falling short. Maybe you just simply weren't right fit and you need to find more people. But don't stop. Don't give up, because the answer really is getting more people on your team in general than stopping at it's impossible to find somebody or hire somebody. People do want to work. People are looking for opportunities. But, if you put an ad out and you're surprised somebody that sucks responds, don't be surprised. That's why they didn't have a job a lot of the times. And that's why they responded to your ad, and they're going to put the best foot forward and they're going to try and trick you. And not everybody, but people will try and say, I love being on time, and they'll come on time, and then, they'll fall off. And that's part of employing people, and that's part of hiring. So just roll with the punches there. So John said, John, which was the original poster, he said, I'm telling them 2 months and they say, that's fine. I want you to do it. I can answer phone. I'm COVID positive. And they say, I'll clean car afterwards. It's ridiculous and summers are not here yet. John, you're obviously doing a great job, and that's cool that people are willing to wait 10 months for your service. You just have to now tackle the bottlenecks in your system. How can you get them scheduled faster? How can you get somebody to help you with phone calls? How can you get somebody to prep the cars for you, to do the jobs that are easily trainable, that are the part that's least enjoyable for you, maybe not your best income per time you put out. So, a great place to start when you're looking at hiring, people post like, hey, I'm looking to add to my team, but I don't know who to hire first, what position. The way you do it is break down the different things you do in a day. Of course, you're tinting windows, you're prepping them, you're cutting film, you're checking inventory, you're ordering film, you're answering emails, you're taking calls, you're greeting customers, you're sweeping the shop, you're doing everything, you're buying supplies, and so on. And then go, well, let's put a value on them. Buying supplies. How much money does buying supplies generate for the company? Well, it probably doesn't generate any money for the company, but it's a necessity, right? Can anybody buy supplies? Yes. Are there automated ways to buy supplies now like Amazon? Yes. So maybe you can even just save one trip to Costco every week, or to Target, or to Walmart, and get your stuff on Amazon. Set it to auto deliver to the amounts you need. It's a small step, but it's one less thing you potentially need to do. Can you find somebody to come to your shop and clean and help you clean and sweep up for an hour, 2 hours during the day? Can you find somebody to prep film for you, to put it through the plotter, to deal with figuring out the program, putting it through the plotter, getting it cut, and just handing it off to you when you're ready to do that car? Can you get somebody to answer emails? Just emails. Maybe you handle phones, but they answer emails. They restock. They clean. There's these small things that are taking up your time that are little reliefs, and they're going to let you focus more on what you need to do. Now, I did see somebody say in here when I was reading this before this wisdom, somebody suggested, look, when you're overbooked like that, it's time to raise the prices. And I think John or somebody else said, I did raise the prices. I'm up like 20%. Raise them more. If this is the case, if people are willing to wait, raise them more. You're not taking advantage of anybody when you're raising your prices. Again, it's supply and demand. It's business. You have been able to create a demand for your business by offering quality services and quality supplies or quality services and quality customer service. You've been able to create a demand for your business that is so great that you're months booked out. That means you can still raise the price because people do want to pay for that service. Some do. Some won't. Some do. It's one option. But I think you said you raised the price. Right here. Have gone up 20% across the board. Still no change. People don't care if they know it's quality. I'm the most expensive in your area. What happens if you raise it another 20% and you take that 20% and you use it to pay somebody to come help you? It's a way to get that ball rolling. So Ryan Frederick said, I trained one to answer the phone, clean windows, run the plotter, clean up after, can handle 4 to 6 more vehicles this way. There it is. There's your answer. Ryan, you nailed it. You can handle 4 to 6 more vehicles, and somebody else is answering the phone, cleaning windows, running the plotter, and cleaning up after. All things that really aren't the best use of a master tinter's time. You're not going to get the most return out of the time as you could by tinting 4 to 6 more vehicles in a day. Let's do the numbers. 4 to 6 more vehicles. Let's say your average tint customer in and out, let's just call it $200. Even so, I'll bet you it's higher than that for most shops. When you talk average cars, you factor in the people you upsell and the people you don't, but let's call $200. If you even do 4 more cars at $200, you're talking $800 in revenue. Cut the film cost out of there. Maybe you're taking $200, $300, call it big. Take $300 out of there for film cost. Even so, it's less than that. You have $500 left over. You pay that person $150 for the day. You have $350 left in profit for that day. You do that 5 days a week, and you're talking about $2,000 a week more in profit, and you didn't have to answer your phones. You didn't have to clean up your shop. You didn't have to. So this is the idea. This is why I thought it's such a great post. It's in the Window Film Revolution Facebook group. Go check it out. Add some feedback to it. Read through these. These are the kind of posts with over 113 comments in less than 24 hours. A lot of gold can be found in this. But if you're going to take one thing away from this rant is get off the pen and paper system. The pen and paper system it's inefficient. It is something of the past. Basically, if you do a search in these groups and you search for the posts where people are talking about how busy they are, they're typically showing pen and paper. And the reason for that is because, of course, you're going to feel busy when everything is so pen and paper, pen and paper, pen and paper. It's hard to have multiple people help with the schedule. It's hard to even manage the schedule. So get off the pen and paper, get in the Window Film Revolution group, check out this thread, and I'll see you all next week on another Tint Wisdom. Thank you all for watching today. And let me get back to that main screen. And then today I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts. This is a light. I think everybody knows about it by now, but Jeff is the owner. And this light, you put it in the back windows of cars so that you can, it's flexible. It plugs into the car cigarette lighter. I think there's a battery powered one now or coming. And basically it's so that, you can see the outline of the back window without having somebody hold a light in there. And it's an awesome product. And this is one of the most, if not the most comfortable shirts I own. So check them out. That's why I'm wearing it today, because I wear this shirt all the time. They gave them out at the Window Film Convention last year. I love the shirt. It's a great product. So little shout there to Jeff's product. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you on Tuesday.